All right, we are up on YouTube.
Welcome to this emergency meeting of the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill Board of Trustees. To start with, let me remind you of a few logistics. Board members, if you would, please mute your microphone until you start speaking. And when you do speak or make a motion or a second to a motion, for the record, please identify yourself. A reminder that under North Carolina general statutes concerning virtual meetings by public bodies, all votes will be by roll call. Additionally, all chats, instant messages, text, or other written communications between board members regarding the transaction of the public business during this remote meeting are deemed to be public records. Vice Chair Davis will now call the roll.
Mrs. Artis Neal. Mr. Boland. Present. Mr. Brown. Mr. Kobe.
Here.
Mr. Cochran.
Here.
Mr. Davis is here. Mr. Duckett.
Here.
Mrs. Hopkins.
Here.
Mr. McCullough.
Present.
Mr. Meekins.
Present.
Mr. Mosley. Mr. Mosley. Mr. Pryor.
Present.
Mr. Stevens.
Here, and I think Mr. Mosley is present. I saw him on screen.
Mr. Mosley.
May have muted his microphone.
Very good. I'll be on the lookout, and if we see him, then I will check him as present. Chairman, we do have a quorum.
Thank you, Vice Chair Davis. And now I'd ask University Secretary Summers to present the agenda for today's meeting.
So I just needed a quick reset and keep hearing anything. He's on here, so we'll.
Got it.
Mr. Chairman, the agenda for today's meeting has now been posted on the trustee website and passed out here in the room. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Chairman, if I
Yes, sir.
might, Mr. Mosley has indicated to us by chat that he is present, but not able to speak.
Very good. Thank you. As Chair of the Board of Trustees, it's my responsibility to remind all members of the board of their duty under the State Government Ethics Act to avoid conflicts of interest and appearances of conflict of interest as required by this act. Each member has now received the agenda and related information for this Board of Trustees meeting. If any board member knows of any conflict of interest or appearance of conflict with respect to any matter coming before the Board of Trustees at this meeting, the conflict or appearance of conflict should be identified at this time. Hearing none, we'll proceed with the meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, we have only one item to consider, and that'll be done in closed session. So this time I'll recognize Vice Chair Davis to make a motion that we go in closed session. Vice Chair Davis.
Chairman, I move that the board convene in closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statutes, section 143-318-11A1, to prevent the disclosure of privileged information under section 126-22 and the following, and also pursuant to section 143-318-11A5 and A6.
You've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Cochran. Further discussion? If not, all in favor, please answer the roll call when called.
Mr. Boland.
Yes.
Mr. Kobe.
Yes.
Mr. Cochran.
Yes.
Mr. Davis is yes. Mr. Duckett.
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins.
Yes.
Mr. McCullough.
Yes.
Mr. Meekins.
Yes.
Mr. Mosley.
Yes.
Mr. Pryor.
Yes.
Mr. Stevens.
Yes, that's unanimous. The board will now go into closed session. We need a moment or two for the mechanics of that to take place. For those watching, I did not anticipate any action taken by the board following the meeting today.
All right, Rob, I'm gonna cut the stream here. I'm gonna spotlight the pictures.
All right. Looks like we're up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now back in open session. There being no further business to come before the board, I'll entertain the motion that we stand adjourned.
So move.
Motion by trustee Cochran. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Bullock. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, will please answer the roll call.
Mr. Bullock,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Kobe,
Yes.
Mr. Cochran.
Yes.
Davis votes yes. Mr. Duckett,
Yes.
Ms. Hopkins,
Yes.
Mr. McCullen,
Yes.
Mr. Meekins,
Yes.
Mr. Mosley,
Yes.
Mr. Pryor,
Yes.
Mr. Stevens.
Yes, and we do now stand adjourned. Again, thank you everyone for today's meeting.
Okay, if everybody can just hold tight, I'm gonna hang up